Alright, so for my social media project, I chose to focus on the pretty recent social movement, uh, more popularly known as the Fight for $15, and you can see here in raising the minimum wage across the country. Um, First of all, I was going to take a quick look over here for any websites if you want to learn more. Um, right here is the Fight for 15 website, where they have kind of recent news articles. They have their kind of mission statements in the website as well. This one's pretty interesting to see if you want to find more information. That's the Fight for $15 again. Um, Additionally, another interesting website which will help kind of provide a background is in the U.S. Department of Labor, which shows the state minimum wage laws across every state in the entire country. You can, select each individual state individually if you'd like. Say Colorado, it'll take you to that, show you the minimum wage, or you can just scroll down, see every minimum wage, kind of like that. Here's just a picture of protest. There's another one here, but I'm gonna go back to the video. Just a little bit bigger. There you go. That's better. So basically, first, let's give kind of more of a background on the Fight for 15 project. So it actually began in 2012 when 200 fast food workers walked off their jobs to demand for a $15 per hour raised minimum wage for everybody, and they formed a union in New York City. Additionally, today the Fight for 15 movement has expanded to a global level with over 300 cities and over 6 continents. So it's great to see the project is gaining ground. More people are supporting it. Additionally, regular workers everywhere are just kind of fighting to get equal pay because there's the people in the higher ups who are getting so much more money than everyone else, and it's not really fair that the people that are working just as hard but they're not getting even a sliver of a single percent of the money that most of the CEOs of the companies are getting. So they're kind of fighting off that basis, and they're just regular people too. They're fast food workers, doctors, or like home health, like kind of nurses, not nurses, but like care and stuff like that. Additionally, there's airport workers, adjunct professors, retail employees. A lot of them are trying to survive off the under $15 minimum wage, which is unrealistic, especially in today's economy, which is inflating. Everything's getting more expensive, and it's just kind of another reason why it's really important. And the whole basis, or the whole kind of what they support, is that regular workers should just be paid more, like I mentioned. Especially more popular one in McDonald's. There are low wage employees everywhere at McDonald's, and the companies are making like billions of dollars in profit and pushing off costs, while leaving like no money to the actual workers who are keeping the company afront. The people who are there working every day in the registers, working in the back, frying rooms or whatever, cooking up the food. So it's just kind of being there to support those kind of people and make sure that they get the proper money that they need to be able to survive comfortably like everybody else. And interesting fact that I kind of came across when I was doing my research was that 59% of Americans, including 84% of Democrats and 58% of independents, support the $15 minimum wage increase, which I found was interesting, which in this information was from a survey by the Public Religion Research Institute, which is a nonpartisan research group. On the contrary, though, just 32% of Republicans were actually in support of the Fight for 15 movement, which I found very interesting. I think that kind of brings up more potential conversations, thinking about what the kind of views of each political party are, and maybe which political party actually has the mind of the majority of the people. Because from this statistic, it tells me that the Republicans have more of the mind, more support for like the wealthier people, instead of the 99% of the regular workers, or the millions, hundreds of millions of workers across the U.S., not hundreds of millions, but millions of workers across the U.S., across the country, that are working really hard and aren't getting equal pay. So I think that's interesting. Additionally, another interesting fact that I came across was, since the Fight for 15 movement launched in 2012, underpaid workers have actually won a stunning $61.5 billion in raises. I'm pretty sure this statistic was up to 2021, so it's probably a lot higher now. I do not know the exact number. But additionally, another interesting fact that I came across was that people who are kind of against the raise the minimum wage falsely claim that minimum wage workers, primarily impacts teenagers. But the truth is that 9 out of 10 workers who stand to benefit from the $15 minimum wage increase are actually over 20, and the average age of impacted workers is 36. So more importantly than that, working parents constitute over 27% of those who stand to benefit. So the people claim that it's mostly teenagers who are under their parents' support, but the reality is that they're adults. They're people who are similar ages of people who are against this. So it's not fair, it's not just, and the movement is very important, obviously, because especially with, like I mentioned previously, prices of everything are raising. So it's important that this can get passed, and the people can get paid more. So now I'm gonna kind of go into, to kind of finish off this video, to kind of go into some not aftermath, but what's kind of happened, kind of some ground that they've gained from this movement. So, like I already mentioned, they got the $61.5 billion in raises. Additionally, they've won raises for over 26 million people across the country, and 10 states are on their way to $15. This was a previous statistics, but more recently, the states that now have a minimum wage over $15, or at or over $15, are Washington State, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, and Maryland. So Washington State additionally has the highest minimum wage in the country at $17 an hour, which I found was interesting, or $16.28 an hour, my apologies, but the highest minimum wage is actually in Washington, D.C. at $17 an hour. It's not technically classified as a state, so that's why Washington State gets the highest kind of claim for minimum wage. Additionally, as of more recently, which is great for the fast food industry, especially in California, is that the fast food worker minimum wage was actually raised to $20. So people now in California working at fast food restaurants are going to get paid a lot more. They're going to be up $20 an hour, which still isn't perfect, but it's more than the Fight for 15 kind of claim or was hoping for. So it's great to see that the workers are finally getting paid more. So like I mentioned, 26 million workers have seen their wages go up or above $15 an hour from this. And people now, because they're getting paid more, they can move. They can get in a better house. They can get in a safer neighborhood. One specific case, a worker in St. Louis, goes by the name of Frances Holmes, actually stated that she's glad that her minimum wage is increased because now she can live in a house rather than an apartment and live in a safer area. So it's just kind of a look for everybody else that when the minimum wage increases, everybody's life who's affected by it becomes a lot easier. And the government has millions and billions of dollars that they can use that they're just having and they're spending on whatever. And government and private companies as well, because I know a lot of these companies are privately owned. But what I'm trying to get at is these big corporations have billions of dollars, and they should be increasing the minimum wage for the workers, because those are the people who are down there every day working hard, and they're fighting really for their company, and they're not really getting rewarded for it. So this is kind of on the basis of what the Fight for 15 movement is kind of for. So yeah, and lastly, I kind of have here a list of my sources. These are the primary sources that I used, and these are the secondary sources, 5 and 3. So yeah, let me just get back. Whoops. So yeah, thank you for listening to my video. I hope you learned some more interesting facts about the Fight for 15 movement, and hopefully you support it as well. And like I mentioned too, in the websites that I mentioned at the start of the video, you can actually go there, see more about the mission statements of the Fight for 15 project, and keep an eye if you're interested on the minimum wage in every state in the department, the state website that I showed at the start. So yes, thank you everybody for watching.